About MediTape. 4 T's from Nande.
What's up, Nande?
The night the tape came out, Tori had a listening party on Zoom. I loved listening to it with other people and that everyone had thoughts and feelings about each song. We could feel all the ups and downs. In your interview with Max, Wally, and Diego, I think Diego said something about hearing one of the songs for the first time while smoking in the bath.
But when I first listened to the album like completely, I was in my bath smoking a zoot, bubble bath. I listened to the whole album and I never felt such powerful like sense of like, ooh, that is actually quite peng.
And you and Max listening to a version of Kickback at the deli. On my second listen of the album, I laid in bed with my red LED light flooding my room. And when I woke up the next morning, I sat in my backyard and listened to sunrise with the palm trees and the wind blowing. That night, Tori mentioned that she was doing yoga and laying in the grass for hours earlier that day, and how MediTape is the perfect album for that. It's cool thinking about all the places and events people are going to associate this tape with. In that interview, you mentioned YBN Cordae and Anderson .Paak's song R&P, and I've been thinking about that since.
I wanted to recreate a little bit of a feeling that I got from different artists. And I heard a song by Anderson .Paak and YBN Cordae where they go back and forth. We use that as an inspiration because I know these men could go crazy back and forth in French and English and like switching it up and like, yeah.
There's so many moments like that in the album. They feel very natural and made to be, like puzzle pieces fitting together. I love when music flows from left to right, but you made it feel more than 2D. It feels very three-dimensional, where I can vividly imagine where the sounds are coming from. There's a unique quality of each sound, and they all have a distance and position in space, like Max sounding far away and echoey in Sunrise, Wally on the phone and After Sunrise compared to the rest of the song where the voices are so clear as if they're right in front of me.
Yo, Wale! You don't have to say it that loud.
Bro, not that loud.
You don't have to say it that loud.
Max whispering on Bliss, or rapping at the end. And I love how the artists that are on multiple songs like Max, Wally, and Aura make each track their own unique and different in the best way. The details. It's so layered and beautiful. Sounds of y'all hanging out, background voices, little sounds like alarms, keys starting a car, coughing, flicking a lighter. They all feel so tangible. The radio sounds in Downtown Studios are so satisfying. I don't know what it is about that. The song previews pull me in where I want to hear more, and it jumps to the next song previews so seamlessly I can't even be mad. It's that satisfying. Samuel in the listening party said your transitions are smooth, like you're a waterbender. I love storytelling. I make films, so I think of so many movies when listening to MediTape because there's a really successful cinematic quality to it. In After Sunrise, the culture of linking up with your friends in New York, having a conversation, traveling from place to place.
Doing a lot of projects kind of quick, so then you know which one are the best ones. And so then you know where to go spend your time on. And if you can start a bunch of stuff, you then have so many more options and you can and then all the stuff you're not using.
Exactly. That's so true because I'm trying to sell more music. Yeah. Like I'm trying to get on that. But I haven't
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
I'm on the couch.
Yeah. I don't know, man. She was crazy. I was chilling on the couch.
Yeah.
I had really great
OD.
You
haven't?
like, I mean, like, like 7 beats.
Yeah. Oh, you had to have it. And then they said, yeah, okay.
Oh, no, she was
The album moves and travels like it's alive, going from person to person, story to story, which makes sense since you worked on this in New York, walking around with a briefcase, and remotely working with people in different countries while in isolation, fine-tuning it by yourself, physically by yourself. There are switches and shifts in a lot of the songs like a mountain. It's constantly engaging with moments of rest and time to internalize, like the sax in Bliss, Addie's guitar solo in Elevate, and Wally singing at the end of Peanut Butter and Honey. second half of Bubbles makes me want to go for a drive on the highway with the windows open. And I don't even drive, so that says something. It's fun to listen to this album after watching so many of your Instagram lives and hearing you play the riff of Peanut Butter and Honey over and over again and seeing the final product.
Yes sir, we live.
Never enough time inside a day. Crazy, it was just the other day. Downtime studios, music after made. It was just another day.
And Max on your live talking about the Gaga, Savant, Shabbat line on Bubbles. I don't speak French and tried using Google Translate, so please don't roast me.
Ok. I don't exactly know the flow of Wally, but si ta bulle te touche le front, sans doute que t'auras le nez gras, gars. And then I go, à force de vivre à fond, tu risques de devenir gars. Then he says, au fond. Then I say, ça va. Infiltre le game en savate. And then he says, t'as l'air du père dans la savane, comme un imam qui se retrouve à Shabbat. And then I say, on porte les notes par la cravate. And he says, let me show you where my craft at. Boom.
That's sick.
Kickback, a bop, of course. I made my little brother translate some of the French for me when I first listened to it. Unison Square Part 1. I like how different this track is, the voice and the beat, but it still fits with the album because there's dialogue, phone calls, subway sound, and it's all very relevant to the time we're in right now. It sums up the past few months where we're all trying to make art in isolation while the world is on fire. I think this song captured all of those emotions in a way that adds to the timeless feeling of the album. It's peacefully followed by Home, furthering the idea that we as people are more than individuals. We're a collective and we're connected to the earth around us. Nature is everything, and I can tell it's an inspiration of yours. Sunset. In the listening party, everyone had their eyes closed during this song. We were all internalizing everything we heard, and I was definitely thinking about the ideas and emotions that came up for me personally, so no wonder I wrote this whole thing. I don't think I've ever listened to an album and feared its ending. Every time I listen to Sunset and the voice says, "This concludes the MediTape program," I feel a little sad because I'm like, what the fuck am I gonna listen to now? I think it's because it's more than an album. It's an experience that I don't want to end. Like when you're hanging out with your friends and you think, I want this moment to last forever. The album is perfectly bookended with sunrise and sunset, a literal beginning and end just like a day. It makes listening to the album such an immersive experience.
Let me show you some album art for the album, or let me show you some cover art for the album. Dancing again. You feel me? It's gonna be this little design.
It's nice to be able to walk through your mind and your world with the album and your Instagrams. I'm excited to see what else you create.
I said the MediTape is near, it's coming to your ear. I know you've been waiting all motherfucking year. God damn, this shit is coming out. MediTape, let us ring the 50.